All right, guys, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and especially if you enjoyed this video, bro. Uh, so I just finished watching Blue Ball's video where he talks about what Dominic Breazeale says, comparing, Dominic Breazeale, comparing what. Oh God, why did I just? Sorry about that. Comparing what how Dominic Breazeale felt Deontay Wilder's power felt compared to Anthony Joshua's power. And now I didn't find this news I didn't find this statement that Dominic Breazeale said on the internet. So I don't know if this is 100% factual, but according to Blue Balls, this is what that Dominic Breazeale says that when he got hit by Deontay Wilder's punching power felt like he was getting hit by a sledgehammer, and when he was getting hit by Anthony Joshua, it felt like he was getting hit by a woman. Now, again, I don't know if this is 100% what Dominic Breazeale actually said, because this is just what Blue Balls said. This is what Blue Balls said. So, but let's say this is true. Like Dominic Breazeale did say this, basically that Deontay Wilder, basically confirming that Deontay Wilder hits much harder than like Anthony Joshua. Of course he was gonna say that. Of course he was gonna say that. First of all, anybody who knows boxing knows that Deontay Wilder hits harder than Anthony Joshua. Knows that Deontay Wilder is most definitely the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division. I've been telling you guys for a long time that Deontay Wilder is one of those type of punchers that he has the ability to knock you out with one punch. One punch, right? There are fighters out there in the heavyweight division that, can't do that. They cannot knock out a guy with one punch. They have to knock out a guy with an accumulation of punches. When it comes to guys like Deontay Wilder, he kind of reminds me somewhat of like Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev, the light heavyweight WBO champion. As I was saying before, the app freaking froze on me. As I was saying, Deontay Wilder kind of reminds me of Sergey Kovalev when it comes to being able to knock out a guy with one punch. The light heavyweight WBO Sergey Kovalev, he's also a guy who has the ability to knock you out cold with one punch, right? Because in his prime, I saw him knock out several dudes. Another guy Deontay Wilder reminds me of is a prime Tommy Hearns, Tommy the Hitman Hearns. Tommy the Hitman Hearns, in his prime, and even late on in his career, always had the ability to knock dudes out cold with one punch. Matter of fact, a lot of people compare Deontay Wilder to Tommy Hearns. Deontay Wilder is like a heavyweight version of Tommy Hearns because Hearns in his prime, first of all, he was a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. Let's not get that twisted. But the one thing that he had in common with Wilder was his ability to knock motherfuckers out cold just in his right hand. He was known for having an extremely dangerous right hand. He was a lanky dude. He did not look like a big puncher, but boy, if he landed his right hand on his opponents, they would be knocked out unconscious. Just ask Roberto Duran, just several boxers that he fought during his heyday that he knocked out. There's several highlight reels of Tommy Hearns knockouts. Just Google it on YouTube if you don't know. So that's the kind of punching power that Deontay Wilder has. He is one of those fighters that has the ability to knock dudes out cold with one punch, right? So yeah, of course, no one's saying that that Deontay Wilder doesn't hit harder than Anthony Joshua. Although there's been some people who come to me and say no, actually they probably hit the same. I don't believe that. I do believe that Deontay Wilder hits harder than Anthony Joshua. But like I said, when it comes to boxing, styles make fights. Listen, when George Foreman, when George Foreman fought Ken Norton, and Ali fought Ken Norton, George Foreman knocked Ken Norton out into another, right? Ali went the distance with Ken Norton, and And so I'm pretty sure when they asked George Foreman after the fight, hey, George Foreman. I mean, I'm pretty sure when they asked Ken Norton after the fight, hey, Ken Norton. So you fought both Ali and George Foreman. Who hits harder? I'm pretty sure Ken Norton said, well, did you see what happened when I fought George Foreman? I'm pretty sure he said that George Foreman hits way harder than Muhammad Ali. But you saw what happened when George fought Muhammad Ali. He lost, right? Right? He lost, right? So this is why I keep telling people, just because a guy does a better job against a similar opponent, or just because a guy is a bigger puncher than a guy in his division, does not mean he can't beat the guy. And a lot of these Deontay Wilder fans, because they saw Deontay Wilder knock Dominic Breazeale out in devastating fashion like that, now they're hopping on his dick once again. They're acting like it's exactly what's going to happen to Anthony Joshua, as if Anthony Joshua is Dominic Breazeale. Right? That's what people need to understand. Anthony Joshua is not Dominic Breazeale. Right? Tyson Fury, 100 pounds. Did not fight in 3 years. Fought two bums. Yet he did a better job than Dominic Breazeale did. Yet he went 12 rounds against Deontay Wilder. Yet Dominic Breazeale, who's been more active than Tyson Fury, got knocked out in 1 round. Why? That's the perfect example of styles make fights. That's the only reason why the Tyson Fury was able to go 12 rounds and Dominic Breazeale wasn't. Why? Because styles make fights. Tyson Fury is savvy. Tyson Fury knows how to box. Tyson Fury knows how to use his height and reach to his advantage. Dominic Breazeale has no head movement. Dominic Breazeale has no defense. Dominic Breazeale is slow. Dominic Breazeale is not savvy. Dominic Breazeale is not the boxer than Tyson Fury is. That's what people always say, styles make fights in boxing. So don't look at Deontay Wilder knocking out Dominic Breazeale and think, okay, that's exactly what he's going to do to Anthony Joshua in 1 round. Styles make fights. Anthony Joshua is going to be throwing a jab against Deontay Wilder. So never get confused by that shit. Okay, boxing doesn't work like that. Just because a guy does a better job than another guy does not mean he's going to do he could beat the guy or he's going to do the same thing. By the way, that Wilder can't beat Joshua. He can, but styles make fights. That's very important. I think everyone should always remember that in boxing. Styles make fights. And that's all I have to say, guys. Thanks for watching, subscribing if you're new to this channel, and I'm out.